Pranams to Thakur Ma and Swamiji. Pranams to most revered President Maharaj-ji. Pranams to revered Gautamananda Ji Maharaj, who has not been able to come in person, but has sent his message. Pranams to revered Shwetananda Ji Maharaj and revered Bhajanananda Ji Maharaj, both Vice Presidents of our order. Pranams to revered General Secretary Maharaj and other senior Swamis. Regards to other monastic brothers belonging to Ramakrishna Math as well as Parishad Ashramos, and regards also to the nuns coming from some Parishad Ashramos, and warm greetings and namaskars to all the delegates. In Sri Ramakrishna's biography written by Saradananda Ji, which he considered to be his most authentic biography, we see that Sri Ramakrishna did not know himself as an avatara until his all sadhanas came to an end with his worshipping the Holy Mother as Goddess Shoroshi. After that, he had several revelations about himself as well as about his divine mission. He realized that he was an avatara, and because of that he would have to he would have no liberation or mukti like ordinary sadhakas or siddhas. He would have to incarnate himself repeatedly for the good of humanity. Secondly, he had several revelations about his divine mission also. Most important of which was this, that being an instrument in the hands of the Divine Mother, he would have to found a new religious order which would contain and propagate the liberal ideas that he had experienced in his life. Not only this, Divine Mother also showed him his future disciples, making whom the basis and the pillars he would build up the future Sangha. At that time, the Mother did not show him only the monastic disciples, showed some of his household disciples also. As for example, when Purna Chandra Ghosh came to him, Sri Ramakrishna said, Purna is the last of those persons whom the Mother showed as those who would come to me for spiritual knowledge. In support of this, that Sri Ramakrishna order was conceived by Sri Ramakrishna himself to be an order of both monks and householders. We can quote here what revered Bhuteshananda Ji Maharaj said in the 1980 convention of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission on the subject Ramakrishna Sangha on 24th December 1980. Revered Maharaj was then one of the vice presidents of the order. Maharaj said, quote, "It was in the temple of Dakshineshwar that Sri Ramakrishna banded a group of young seekers of God and trained them to follow the path of God realization, each pursuing the course suited to his nature. It was here that Sri Ramakrishna Sangha came to existence. In course of time, some of the youngster disciples, fired with the spirit of renunciation, became the first group of sannyasis who later on formally founded the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. But the Sangha as a whole did not, and even to this day does not mean only the sannyasis and brahmacharis who comprise the monastic order. The householder devotees are also an inseparable part of the great Sangha. That Sri Ramakrishna was conscious of this broad outlook of the Sangha is clear from the fact that he did not he did not permit some of the lay disciples to take to monastic life, saying that their lives as householders would be an example for others to emulate. Unquote. In the same convention, the then President Maharaj, Revered Bireshwaranandaji Maharaj, said in his inaugural address on 23rd December 1908 this. He said this, quote, I am using the word Sangha in a wider sense. Generally, it is used to denote only the monastic organization. I am using it to include the lay disciples also. Swami Hiranyamayanandaji Maharaj was then the General Secretary. He also said in his keynote address on Ramakrishna Sangha on 24th December, quote, no doubt the monastic members form the nucleus and core of the Sangha, but the householders are also the part and parcel of the Sangha, unquote. Our General Secretary Maharaj has also mentioned in his speech that most revered Gambhiranandaji was also of the same view, that Sangha in a broader and perhaps real sense include lay devotees also. I am dealing with this aspect rather elaborately to incite in the devotees who run these non-affiliated centers, commonly denoted as private ashramos or member ashramo throughout India, this Shraddha that their respective ashramos are also part and parcel of Ramakrishna Sangha, which was conceived by Sri Ramakrishna and given practical shape by Vivekananda. Vivekananda said that Sri Ramakrishna Sangha is the gross body of Sri Ramakrishna. From what we quoted just now from some great monks of our order, any devotee associated with any of the member ashramos in India, be it in Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh or Bangladesh or West Bengal, must know that the member ashrama he or she is associated with is also a part of Thakur's gross body. This is surely to leave a great change in our mindset as to our association with the particular member ashrama, making my service to the ashrama more sincere and puja-like, and giving me more joy and ultimately making me spiritually elevated. Just now, we have mentioned the 1980s convention of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. That was the second convention of Ramakrishna Math and Mission and was held for 7 days starting from 23rd December 1980. About 10,000 delegates assembled at Belur Math, of which the number of resident delegates were 3,200. Seeing this huge assemblage of devotees, it came to the mind of Revered Bireshwaranandaji Maharaj particularly to organize and to make use of this great force and to bring the private ashramos scattered throughout India closer to the Math and Mission without disturbing their independent identities. Revered Bireshwaranandaji also urged the devotees to initiate various services on individual or collective capacities and to form groups of devotees, particularly in the places where Math and Mission had no branch. We all know that Bhava Prachar Parishads came into being as a sequel of what Bireshwaranandaji Maharaj said in that convention, being conceived by surely Revered President Maharaj specially, and because of sincere efforts and brainstorming work of some very revered monks who are now no more, like Revered Gahananandaji Maharaj, Revered Shivamayanandaji Maharaj. We are, however, having in our midst today, in this convention, Some of the senior monks who are with the Bhava Prachar Parishad since its inception, revered Dibbanandaji, revered Shashankanandaji, revered Muktinathanandaji, revered Bimalatmanandaji, to mention only a few. Bhava Prachar Parishad is a unique three-tiered structure which has been framed in such a manner that the ideals of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission can get expressed in every member ashrama in any part of India, provided every one of this three-tier system works sincerely according to the 10-point guidelines and subsequent guidelines that have been issued from the headquarters from time to time. The three tiers are: first, the Central Bhava Prachar Committee at Belur Math that comprises only monastic members. The second one is, the next tier is the Zonal Bhava Prachar Parishad, which comprises only the representatives of the private ashramas as its member and office bearers, with the exception that its presidents and vice presidents will be our monks. Then the last tier is the private ashramas proper, which are now 967 in number as member ashramas and 95 in number as observer ashramas of our various Bhava Prachar Parishads. That means total number of member and observer ashramas is 1062. The guidelines that the Central Bhava Prachar Committee provides to the Zonal Bhava Prachar Parishads and urges them to follow are 5 in number. It is said that for important things, repetition or punarabritti is not a bad thing. On the other hand, it is glorious. So, this glorious repetition of these 5 guidelines may happen during the 2 days proceedings, which I now place before you. First, the 10-point guidelines issued by the Bhava Prachar Parishad Committee. Second, additional guidelines. Third, a model constitution. Fourth, a document named Some Decisions Taken by the Bhava Prachar Committee, Ramakrishna Math, Belur. And 5 other decisions taken by the headquarters BPP Bhava Prachar Committee. These 5 guidelines should guide every activity of the Bhava Prachar Parishads and ultimately should be reflected in the functioning of the private ashramas, which is actually our main objective. In fact, the sole objective of our all this exercise and efforts is this, that the private ashramas live and flourish both in spiritual activity as well as in so-called philanthropic activities, just as well as the branches of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. You surely understand why I used so-called philanthropic activities because our philanthropic activities, which people call philanthropic activities, those are also not philanthropic activities, they are also spiritual activities. Swamiji said, Atmana Mokshartham Jagadhitayacha is the motto of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. This is motto of aims and objectives of the Bhava Prachar Parishads, ashramas or member ashramas. This is the aim and objective of our so-called private ashram or member ashramas also. Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitayacha. So, to spiritualize the entire life of humanity, entire part of each individual of entire humanity is the goal of, aim and objective of entire Ramakrishna movement. And Bhava Prachar Parishad ashramas are no exception to that. On the contrary, their responsibility is more in the sense that always in every age the number of householders, lay disciples or lay followers of God will be much less compared to the all-renouncing monks and nuns. That is always there. Only in the history, only once this attempt were made, we know, Swamiji said, in the Buddhistic period, and Swamiji said, in spite of his great respect to Buddhism, he criticized that. That is the time when, because of that only Buddhism, not only Buddhism, entire nation got down. Because all people cannot, are not in no age, general people can be fit for the highest ideals of monasticism. So if the general people are pushed to that the highest idea, what they will do, they will naturally pull down the ideal. So the degeneration of monastic ideal took place. So that will never happen. Always the number of householders will much, that will always be much greater, much larger than the number of monastics. So unless the, so this responsibility on our private ashram is more in this way, Sri Ramakrishna's mission will not be successful unless his mission is reflected among our householder followers, among the householder community, lay followers of Sri Ramakrishna. So this Atmano Mokshartham Jagodhitayacha is the motto of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. In the same lecture from which I quoted, same lecture by Bhuteshanandaji on 24th, given on 24th December 1980, in the same lecture, Bhuteshanandaji Maharaj says that this is the motto of our lay disciples also. Atmano Mokshartham Jagodhitayacha. Atmano Mokshartham means will do their conventional form of sadhana for our mukti, for our God realization. Conventional form of sadhana, the sadhanas which everybody knows, everybody recognizes as sadhana, like japa, meditation, tapasya, bhajan, pilgrimage, etc. Then Jagodhitayacha. People will, we have to do good to the world. Jagodhitayacha. We have to serve the world. So they will look upon us as a philanthropic organization. We will have to do the acts of philanthropy from the world, from the standpoint of world. Those are efforts to do good to the world. But from our inner feeling, in the way the sadhus and devotees within the organization will look at our work for the good of the world, will also be attempts to Atma Mukti. That means our japa and meditation are spiritual practice, our service to others also is spiritual practice. Actually, there should not be any qualitative difference between the ways of life of a true monastic follower of Holy Trio and a true lay follower of the Holy Trio. For both, purity is the mainstay. For both, sadhana or spiritual life is twofold, as I have just mentioned. Worship of God in the form of Holy Trio by japa, meditation, bhajana, etc. and worship of God or Holy Trio in human being by service. For both the lay disciples and monastic disciples of Guru Maharaj, worship is worship, seva is also worship, work is also worship. The later chaw between Atma Mukti and Jagodhito entails that both japa, meditation and work plus service must be there in our spiritual practice, whether we are monk or lay followers of the Holy Trio. Then lastly, I will submit to you what we have heard, what we have heard and the way we have been advised by our seniors since our joining this order. Feel fortunate, we have to feel fortunate and privileged that we are able to serve the Sangha. Please try continuously to elevate your personal life, spiritually and in all other good qualities. Follow Holy Mother's advice that Thakur's family is made of love. So behind all the rules however necessary they may seem or they may be, must underlie the rule of life. If we proceed this way, the devotees associated with our member ashrama, then our life will be spiritualized, entire life will be spiritualized, spiritual sessions of our every day will be surely spiritualized, and the so-called mundane or material hours of our daily life, that also will be spiritualized. Ever the rule is this, ever the norm is this, that if we want to teach anybody anything, we have to teach it to ourselves first, especially in the case of spiritual world. In the spiritual world, it is more true than in any areas of life. So we have to be spiritual first, doing the conventional forms of sadhana, japa, meditation, bhajan, shadhaya, and also doing the modern forms of sadhana by sincerely serving others, looking upon them as the veritable image of Thakur, Ma and Swamiji. These are the two golden paths for spiritualizing our life as well as spiritualizing the life of those who are around us. Thank you.